People in the Fever were like, y'all.
That's not my point. There's a lot of other shit going on that players are like, this ain't where I want to be.
Over there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Some new shit going on around there.
It's a lot. Yeah. So you have players that are very significant on this Indiana Fever team that are like, I don't
want to be here.
This is where I want to be.
Yeah.
Remember when Sheryl Swoopes said this? DeWanna Bonner has finally broken her 6-month Twitter silence. But she didn't just drop a casual, hey, I'm back tweet. Oh no, she made a statement so bold, it rattled the entire WNBA. Not only is she officially joining the Indiana Fever, but she's also dismantling one of the league's most worn-out, unfounded narratives. The claim that Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans are toxic. That narrative, gone, destroyed.
This WNBA offseason killed a lot of narratives, right? It really did. And I hope they're gone for good. And I hope we spend so much less time discussing nonsense. But I think we've seen it stamped out this offseason. And one of those narratives was people wouldn't want to go to the Fever because of the Fever fan base.
You might be thinking, hold up, isn't this the team everyone loves to hate? The one players are supposedly dodging? Well, Bonner's not here for that. She saw the nonsense coming from supposed legend Sheryl Swoopes, the never-ending social media drama, and the same old tired talking points. Instead of staying silent, she's stepping up to set the record straight.
To all the crazy people on social media basically calling her every name under the sun because she chose to play in Indiana. These are the same people that are like, oh, she'll never play in Indiana for obvious reasons. And she went and defended the Indiana fans and was like, talking about, she was basically like, talking positively about the fans that were interacting with her positively, and was responding to one of the crazy posts about her being like, I'm getting screenshots of things you were saying about me. Can you just stop?
Picture this. Bonner casually scrolling through her phone, likely enjoying a peaceful moment, when she comes across yet another wave of misinformation, fans wondering why she'd join Indiana, analysts still holding on to the outdated belief that no one wants to play for the Fever. Instead of brushing it off, Bonner did something way more impactful.
It goes to show you that I think hopefully all that stuff has been put in the rear view, and of course Bonner is a pro.
She didn't just respond, she shut it down with one flawlessly crafted tweet. It wasn't just about defending herself. She went all in for Indiana Fever fans. She basically said, y'all are loud, passionate, and real. That's not toxic. That's what true fandom looks like. And just like that, the conversation was over.
I don't get on here often because this app is insanely too much sometimes. I just want to say thank you. Thank you for all the love I've received so far. Deaf, not unnoticed. The love is real.
But she didn't stop there. Bonner called out the hypocrisy, shining a light on the double standard and how fan bases are treated differently. Why is it that when fans from other teams show passion, it's called support, but when Indiana Fever fans do the same, it's suddenly an issue? And why is it that when the Fever start winning and getting national attention, all of a sudden, the haters have a problem with the fans? Bonner wasn't just making a personal statement, she was calling out the league-wide bias that shadowed Indiana ever since Caitlin Clark stepped in.
She's gone online for 2 times. One is to call out the crazy people attacking her right now because she joined the Fever.
This isn't just about fan reactions, it's about respect. Something Indiana Fever fans and players have been denied for way too long. And Bonner? She's done letting the lies slide. What makes this even more powerful is that Bonner isn't some young player chasing attention. She's a legend, a multi-time WNBA champion, and one of the most respected figures in the game. When she speaks, the entire league pays attention. This isn't just another player venting on social media. This is a seasoned veteran, someone who's lived through different eras of WNBA history, stepping up to call out the nonsense and stand up for her new team.
You know, Fever fans are probably starving for that. And I think seeing the validation of the players choosing their team.
Bonner made it crystal clear. Indiana isn't some struggling franchise just trying to stay afloat. With Caitlin Clark at the helm, the Fever are building something special. They're not just aiming to be competitive, they're coming for the top teams in the league, and Bonner is all in on that mission. She's not just joining Indiana, she's becoming part of a movement.
And it's funny because if you're seeing like DeWanna Bonner, if you're seeing like Natasha Howard, on social media, Natasha Howard's posts are getting 100 times more likes, and DeWanna Bonner's been reacted more positively probably than she ever has been in her career.
And the best part? The response to her tweet has been huge. Indiana Fever fans are backing her like never before, and the same people who swore nobody wanted to play for Indiana, they're all of a sudden silent. Sheryl Swoopes? Nowhere to be found.
What it do, peeps? Sheryl Swoopes is been missing. Sheryl Swoopes is MIA. They got a APB out for Sheryl Swoopes. If you see Sheryl Swoopes, she did a lot of talking a few months ago about the Indiana Fever, the locker room environment, how people didn't want to play there, how people wanted to leave.
Now, all that's left is to watch the haters scramble to rewrite history. They'll act like they never claimed Indiana wasn't a desirable team. They'll pretend they weren't downplaying Caitlin Clark's impact. But at this point, it's too late. The Indiana Fever have already won the battle off the court, and now they're gearing up to take it to the court too.
That thank you from DeWanna Bonner, being olive branch to us all to focus on the basketball. But I did think it was worth sharing simply because I know a lot of those fans, the new fans, felt rejected and beaten down a lot. And I think this is symbolic.
DeWanna Bonner, Caitlin Clark, and the Fever aren't just putting together a team. They're rewriting the future of the WNBA. And if the rest of the league isn't paying attention yet, they'll be forced to soon. You've probably heard all the noise about the Indiana Fever fan base, right? The narrative that their fans are supposedly toxic or too intense, and that players are supposedly dodging the team because of it. Well, let's be real here. That storyline fell apart quicker than a bad defensive rotation. And you know who kicked this whole mess off? Alyssa Thomas? Yep, Bonner's own wife was out here stirring the pot, claiming that Fever fans were so unbearable, players wanted nothing to do with Indiana.
In my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media.
Here's the plot twist. Despite all that noise, star players aren't running from the Fever. They're running toward them. DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, Sophie Cunningham, and Sydney Colson didn't just sign with the team. They embraced it. These aren't just role players looking for minutes on a struggling franchise. These are battle-tested veterans and high-impact stars who saw all the headlines about a so-called bad fan base and still said, yeah, I want to be part of that.
No argument that the Fever are a great basketball destination, that Caitlin Clark is a great basketball.
Let's talk numbers, because, as always, they don't lie. Indiana Fever fan engagement is off the charts. We're talking sold-out arenas, merchandise flying off the shelves, and social media interaction hitting record highs. This isn't some struggling franchise barely hanging on. This is a team that's become the pulse of the WNBA, and at the heart of it all is Caitlin Clark. She's not just attracting new fans, she's turning casual viewers into die-hard supporters.
The Fever fan base, being painted with this broad brushstroke, was always just stupid, really. There's no other word for it, because Caitlin Clark brought more fans to the league than it's ever seen. So many of them are Fever fans, and the new fans that come in outnumber the old fans that were already there. You don't want to tell those people they're unwelcome.
Think about how absurd this all sounds. Just a few years ago, Indiana was written off as an afterthought in the WNBA. Now, they're the hottest ticket in town. It's like judging an entire restaurant off one bad Yelp review. It just doesn't make sense. The reality is, Every team's got a few bad apples in their fan base. That's just sports. But to act like Indiana's supporters are some kind of exception, that's just reaching. So what's really going on here? Why are people so quick to attack Fever fans? The answer's simple. Because Indiana is winning. Not just on the court, but in the fight for relevance, attention, and influence. They're no longer an afterthought, and that makes some people uneasy. Instead of acknowledging that Indiana Fever fans are the heart of something special, the haters would rather push this weird, baseless narrative that players don't want to play there.
And a lot of fans, I think, felt unwelcome as a result of that, because when you look at every sport and every fan base, there are going to be bad apples. With every group of people, there are. And the larger that group becomes, of course, then the larger the small percentage of bad apples are. But if you've ever followed sports, you see people acting stupid online or even live at games.
And yet, reality paints a different picture. If Indiana Fever fans were really that bad, why are top-tier players lining up to sign contracts? Would DeWanna Bonner, a multi-time champion, choose to finish her career in a place where she felt unwanted? Would Natasha Howard, a former Defensive Player of the Year, commit to a team with a toxic culture? The answer is clear. These players see something the haters refuse to admit. The WNBA landscape is shifting, and Indiana is right at the center of it. Just a year ago, people laughed at the idea of the Fever being a desirable destination. Now, they're scrambling to figure out how everything changed so fast. Caitlin Clark isn't just a generational talent. She's a headline magnet, a sellout machine, and the kind of player who makes a franchise relevant overnight.
This is now known around the league. And it's telling if DeWanna Bonner says she chose the Fever over the Lynx and Mercury to win now.
Minnesota fans, Sheryl Reeve thought she had Bonner locked down, with the deal nearly done. Then, out of nowhere, the Fever swooped in, stealing Bonner and derailing the Lynx's entire offseason plan. Reeve is furious she lost Bonner to Clark in Indiana.
But the Lynx were there. So to choose the Fever over them is saying something. And I think all of those players choosing the Fever said all you need to know.
Bonner had been dropping hints for months, wanting to win now, and barely reacting to the Mercury trading for her fiancé. Minnesota ignored the signs, thinking they had it locked, while Bonner played chess and Reeve was stuck on checkers.
I'm glad that this really worked out, because this almost turned really ugly for the WNBA, man. You talking about Nafisa Collier being on a revenge tour. That was definitely going to be a revenge tour worth watching, man, because they were going to mop the league.
This wasn't a last-minute move. The Lynx had been planning it for months, confident Bonner was their missing piece. They'd already envisioned championship parades, expecting her to join Collier and McBride for a title run.
Man, I want y'all to hear this. All 5 of last season's regular starters left during this offseason free agency. They're talking about the Connecticut Sun here, including 3 who had spent their entire careers, a collective 23 seasons with the organization. One of those players, Alyssa Thomas, sought a move to a championship contender, Phoenix, with superior facilities.
And if you need proof of just how deep Minnesota was invested in this plan, they even considered trading for Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's fiancée, in a last-ditch effort to sweeten the deal. That's the basketball equivalent of buying someone a house before the first anniversary. Risky, desperate, and ultimately pointless.
The Lynx also explored trading for Thomas, league sources told The Athletic, and looked at signing her fiancé and former Sun teammate DeWanna Bonner.
While Reeve and the Lynx made their pursuit obvious, Indiana stayed quiet, building relationships behind the scenes. As Minnesota made a spectacle, the Fever played a patient, precise game, setting up the perfect heist.
Nonetheless, the other things or other desires or other factors, as they say, I'm pretty sure that's the key factor of why she left and why she went to the Fever instead of the Lynx.
And just like that, it happened. Bonner turned down Minnesota's offer and chose to team up with Caitlin Clark in Indiana. The Lynx were left scrambling, Reeve fuming. What was supposed to be their biggest offseason acquisition had just slipped through their fingers, and there was nothing they could do to stop it.
Now, thinking of the Lynx, man, that would be a disgusting team if she ended up going to the Lynx, man. Can you imagine Alyssa Thomas going to the Lynx, allowing Nafisa Koya to play the 4, and then you even have Bonner there as well?
DeWanna Bonner played Sheryl Reeve and the Lynx front office like a fiddle, and they never saw it coming. The wildest part? Bonner had been dropping breadcrumbs about her true intentions for months, and not a single person in Minnesota picked up on them. The signs were there, right in front of their faces. If only they had been paying attention.
Because I can't even imagine Fee at the 3, and then you have Bonner and Alyssa at the 4 and the 5. Oh my goodness, bro. You could tell the Lynx knew that the Indiana Fever were piping up as far as grabbing some of the best players to make that organization run like a well-oiled machine, man.
At last season's WNBA All-Star Game, Bonner and Caitlin Clark had deep talks, hinting at something big. While Minnesota thought they had Bonner, she was already planning a future with Clark in Indiana.
All-Star Game. Now, there's certain pictures coming around, floating around online of Caitlin Clark and DeWanna Bonner at the All-Star Game, chopping it up, kind of insinuating, not saying that this facts, that this whole situation kind of could have been in the works already.
Some last-minute change of heart. It was a masterfully executed move, months in the making. Bonner let Minnesota think they had the upper hand, but in reality, she had already bought into the Fever's vision long before free agency even opened. While Reeve and the Lynx were busy plotting their championship run, Bonner was quietly buying into Indiana's long-term blueprint.
Most of the teams do realize that that is about to happen, so they are strengthening up their roster. And that move right there would have been crazy, fam. That would have been a crazy move. Having Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner on the Lynx, that would have been unfair because then you have Fee and then you have McBride. Oh my goodness, dog.
Phoenix thought they had it locked with the Alyssa Thomas trade, thinking Bonner couldn't resist. But she wasn't tempted at all, leaving their plan in ruins and them scrambling to figure out what went wrong.
Now, from the jump, I felt like Alyssa Thomas and DeWanna Bonner was going to be that other couple that always stayed together. But, you know, DeWanna Bonner pulled a rabbit out of the hat on me, man, and said, hey, I'm going Indiana.
Minnesota had every reason to believe they were the perfect fit. They had the championship pedigree, a seasoned coach in Sheryl Reeve, and a roster packed with talent ready to win now. On paper, it made perfect sense for a 37-year-old veteran chasing one last ring before calling it a career. But Bonner saw something different, something both Minnesota and Phoenix somehow overlooked.
But Phoenix also heavily courted Bonner, league sources said, yet the desire to win immediately, among other factors, led Bonner to the Indiana Fever.
In her statement, Bonner didn't focus on joining a powerhouse, but on Indiana's potential to grow the game. She saw an opportunity to build something special, while others saw a work in progress.
Now, I wonder what the other factors were. I mean, going to the Lynx is definitely a win right now situation. It's mainly the other factors that made her go to the Indiana Fever.
The Indiana Fever just went from a WNBA afterthought to the hottest ticket in town. DeWanna Bonner's decision wasn't just your typical free agent move, it was a statement. When she signed with Indiana, she wasn't chasing an easy ring. She was looking to build something that would transform a struggling franchise into a legitimate powerhouse. And if you ask her, that journey to greatness starts right now.
To all the crazy people on social media calling her every name under the sun because she chose to play in Indiana. These are the same people that are like, oh, she'll never play in Indiana for obvious reasons. And she went and defended the Indiana fans and was like, talking about, she was basically like, talking positively about the fans that were interacting with her positively, and was responding to one of the crazy posts about her being like, I'm getting screenshots of things you were saying about me, can you just stop?
DeWanna Bonner just shattered her 6-month Twitter silence, and she didn't return with a simple, I'm back tweet. Instead, she unleashed a bombshell that's got the entire WNBA buzzing. Not only is she joining the Indiana Fever, but she's also turning the tables on a worn-out narrative. You know the one. that Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever fans are toxic? That storyline is officially over, thanks to one powerful tweet from Bonner.
This WNBA offseason a lot of dumbass narratives, right? It really did. And I hope they're gone for good. And I hope we spend so much less time discussing nonsense. But I think we've seen it stamped out this offseason. And one of those narratives was people wouldn't want to go to the Fever because of the Fever fan base.
Now, you might be asking, isn't that the team everyone seems to love to despise? Well, Bonner isn't buying into that narrative. She just dropped a tweet that's sending shockwaves through the league. And believe me, it's touching on issues that go far beyond just the game of basketball.
It goes to show you that I think hopefully all that stuff has been put in the rear view. And of course, Bonner is a pro.
Imagine this. Bonner, casually scrolling through her phone, likely with a steaming cup of coffee in hand, stumbles upon the usual noise. Critics are bashing her for signing with Indiana. Detractors claim no one would ever choose to play for the Fever, and those so-called experts are clinging to their tired narrative like it's the final slice of pizza at a party. But instead of brushing it off, Bonner had enough. She didn't merely respond. She dismantled that feeble storyline with the precision of one of her signature shot blocks.
Y'all, I don't get on here often because this app is insanely too much sometimes. I just want to say, thank you. Thank you for all the love I've received so far. Def not unnoticed. The love is real.
Her tweet was absolute fire. It wasn't just about defending herself. It was a full-throttle rally for Indiana Fever fans. In essence, Bonner declared, "You're loud, you're passionate, and you're real. That isn't toxic. That's what genuine fandom looks like." And she didn't stop there. She pulled back the curtain on the hypocrisy. How is it that when other fan bases show their passion, it's hailed as support, but when it comes to Indiana, it's painted in a different light? It just doesn't add up.
She's gone online for 2 times. One is to call out the crazy people attacking her right now because she joined the Fever.
And here's why it matters. Bonner isn't some rookie scrambling for attention. She's a champion, a bona fide legend on the court, and an unstoppable force when it comes to scoring. When she speaks, the entire league listens. This isn't merely a player airing grievances online. It's a respected leader calling out the absurdity. Having witnessed it all in the WNBA, she's unafraid to voice what everyone else has been thinking.
You know, Fever fans are probably starving for that. And I think seeing the validation of the players choosing their team.
But here's the twist. Her tweet wasn't solely aimed at the fans. Bonner put the entire league on alert, making it crystal clear that Indiana isn't just a team fighting to stay relevant. With Caitlin Clark leading the charge, the Fever are crafting something truly extraordinary, and Bonner is all in. She's not merely joining a team, she's stepping into a movement.
And it's funny because if you're seeing like DeWanna Bonner, if you're seeing like Natasha Howard, on social media, Natasha Howard's posts are getting 100 times more likes, and DeWanna Bonner's being reacted more positively probably than she ever has been in her career.
And get this, the reaction has been nothing short of phenomenal. Fans are rallying behind her, Fever supporters are louder than ever, and even players from rival teams are stepping up to show their support. The whole narrative has been completely overturned.
Be an olive branch to us all to focus on the basketball. But I did think it was worth sharing simply because I know a lot of those fans, the new fans, felt rejected and beaten down a lot. And I think this is symbolic.
Now all those critics who once insisted no one was eager to play for Indiana are scrambling to backtrack, acting as if they never said a word. Meanwhile, Bonner, Caitlin Clark, and the Fever are busy strategizing their next move. And trust me, what's coming is nothing short of legendary.
You know, no argument that the Fever are a great basketball destination. That Caitlin Clark is a great basketball.
Chances are you've caught wind of the so-called Indiana Fever fan controversy. But do you really know the full story? It all began when Alyssa Thomas, Bonner's wife, decided to stir the pot. She boldly claimed that Fever fans were so intimidating, players were shunning the team, as if they were avoiding a barren basketball wasteland.
In my 11-year career, I've never experienced the racial comments from the Indiana Fever fan base. We had her face on a serious matter that happened in this world, and it's unacceptable, honestly. And there's no place for it, and we've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media.
Here's the twist. Despite all the chatter, star players are eagerly lining up to join the Fever. DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, these aren't just role players, they're bona fide WNBA icons. When they saw those headlines labeling the fan base as toxic, their response was a resounding, "Count me in." Now, let's talk facts. The numbers speak for themselves. Fever fan engagement is skyrocketing. We're talking sold-out arenas, merchandise flying off the shelves, and social media buzzing like it's draft night every day. This fan base isn't toxic, it's downright electric. And let's not overlook the Caitlin Clark effect. This isn't just a player making ripples. She's a tidal force, turning casual observers into die-hard fans. The very team once dismissed as irrelevant is now the hottest ticket in town. It's like criticizing an entire library because one book had a torn page. It just doesn't add up.
The Fever fan base being painted with this broad brushstroke was always just stupid, really. There's no other word for it, because Caitlin Clark brought more fans to the league than it's ever seen. So many of them are Fever fans, and the new fans that come in outnumber the old fans that were already there. You don't want to tell those people they're unwelcome.
So what's really going on here? Are Fever fans as cruel as a few bitter voices claim? Not even close. Sure, every team has its share of misfits. That's just part of the game. But those few don't define the overall culture. The true spirit of this fan base is all about passion, and it's that very energy that's powering the Fever's ascent.
And a lot of fans, I think, felt unwelcome as a result of that, because when you look at every sport and every fan base, there are going to be bad apples. With every group of people, there are. And the larger that group becomes, of course, then the larger the small percentage of bad apples are. But if you've ever followed sports, you see people acting stupid online or even live at games.
Here's the bottom line. Why are top-tier players flocking to Indiana? It's straightforward. They see the vision. They recognize what's brewing in that front office. Perhaps it's the chance to win, the lucrative endorsements, or simply the understanding that Indiana Fever fans form the backbone of something extraordinary, not a problem. The reality is that this team is redefining the narrative. From dismantling outdated perceptions to building an electrifying culture fueled by passionate supporters, the Fever are on the rise. In the end, it's not just about basketball. It's about creating a legacy and proving that when you have vision and true fan support, you can turn any doubter into a believer.
I'm sure there were plenty of teams going for your services, DeWanna, so why was this the right opportunity for you?
I just feel like it was the location for one. My kids are literally right up the road, and I've spent a lot of time away from them, so that and the core that they have here now is just kind of want to fit in, and be another piece to the puzzle, and hopefully bring the energy dynamic and take us to a different level in the playoffs.
DeWanna Bonner's debut interview with the Indiana Fever is already making waves, and it's easy to see why. She's joining the team with a laser-focused goal to elevate them to new levels of success. But there's one player in particular she's eager to connect with. Imagine Bonner, her eyes filled with excitement and drive, talking passionately about the Fever's future. And as she does, one name keeps lighting up the conversation: Caitlin Clark.
My first game in Indiana, we gotta get a win.
You're probably wondering what makes this interview so special. Well, it's not every day that a seasoned WNBA pro like Bonner gets this fired up about teaming up with a rookie. But that's exactly what's happening here. And believe me, You'll want to hear what she had to say about Clark and the bright future ahead for the Fever.
We're hungry. I think we're a hungry group. So I'm just excited to get out there with everybody and get the final roster because I'm pretty sure there's more things in the works in free agency. So I'm just kind of sit back and waiting, but I can't wait for April 27th is training camp. I got to mark down and get out here with everyone and set our goals and what we want to do.
Bonner's making this move to be closer to her kids, just down the road. But don't think for a second that's all there is to it. She's got her eyes on something much bigger. After seeing the Fever's young core light up the playoffs last season, she's eager to be a part of that fire. She's ready to help take this team to the next level. Can you feel the buzz building? Now, you might be wondering, what exactly does Bonner bring to the table? Well, here's the thing. She holds the record for the most playoff minutes in WNBA history. Yep, you heard that right. She's bringing that championship mentality to Indy, and she's not holding back.
What excites you the most about this team that you're going to be joining?
I mean, they have dynamic pieces in CC and Kelsey Mitchell and AB, Lexi Hall. I mean, they have a great core, so why not just add to that and try to take us to the next level in the playoffs. They were in first round, and I played against them in the first round. And the way they came back the second game, it just makes you excited to, okay, I want to be a part of that. They didn't lay down and quit. They came back and actually try to beat us early, that next game.
But hold up, there's even more. Bonner is absolutely fired up about joining this Fever squad, and it's all about the heart and hustle she witnessed last season. She couldn't stop raving about how impressed she was with the team's fight. She said, "I want to be a part of that." They didn't lay down and quit. It just shows a lot about their character and how hungry they are.
They kind of went on this crazy run, and they were the most well-gelled team at that time. They went from the bottom straight, and they just kept trending. And it was like one of those teams you're like, man, you don't want to really see them in the playoffs. So we got the matchup, and I think our experience helped us very well. But that second game, they came out, and it was like, yeah, they just kind of went on this trajectory that was just like on the rise, and it was literally Fever on the rise during right after All-Star. So that's exciting. That's exciting for me to see, and that kind of helped me with my decision.
Just picture it. Bonner stepping onto the court with this young Fever team. She's bringing a whole new level of experience and leadership to the locker room. This is the kind of move that has the potential to transform a franchise in an instant.
That experience to a young, maturing team, what can you provide?
I'm hoping that I can provide a little bit of leadership, but I feel like they're a team that last year helped them a lot and understand the dynamics of playoffs. It's a whole different ball game when playoffs come, and I feel like they're a young team, but they're a good team, and hopefully I can just provide the knowledge and explain playoffs to them a little bit better so we can be better prepared and don't get punched in the face the first game. And it's hard to come back when you do that the first game. It's hard to come back and try to win 2 straight against a veteran team. So I think they got it.
Bonner is genuinely pumped about the players she's about to team up with. She's seen what this Fever squad is capable of, and she's eager to help them unlock their full potential. It's like she's the missing piece of the puzzle they've been looking for.
How important was familiarity and those relationships as you're making this decision?
It's huge for me because I do have 2 kids, and I want to be comfortable, and I want to make sure that I'm going to be taken care of, on and off the court. So Steph just made it easy. I don't have to learn a whole new system in year 15. So that's huge. And I feel like they just put me in great positions on the court that makes me successful and took my game to a different level. And now you're playing with these dynamic players, and hopefully I can take my game to an even better level.
Now, let's talk about what this means for the Fever's future. Because with Bonner in the mix, the sky's the limit. She's been to the top, and now she's ready to guide this team there too. Having seen what it takes to win championships, she's bringing all that knowledge to Indy. Bonner's all about creating a winning culture in Indiana. She's here to help shape the franchise's future, and that kind of commitment can completely transform a team. But here's the big question. How will her leadership style impact the younger players? Will we see a whole new level of confidence from the Fever on the court?
I'm excited for them. I'm excited for this franchise. I think they deserve it. It's kind of crazy how you see how it happened in a year. You went from just a little fans in the stands to a sold out arena everywhere. Even on the road, it's crazy. I was telling Kelly, like in the playoffs, it almost felt like it was you guys' home game in Connecticut because there was so many fans that came out. So now just credit to them, credit to this organization, credit to this team, and I'm excited to see what the future holds.
So, what does all this mean for Fever fans? Buckle up, because you're in for one of the most thrilling seasons in franchise history. Bonner's arrival is all about bringing in someone who can lift everyone around her. She's got the skills, the experience, and the leadership to push this team to new heights.
You're one of the most fiery competitors in the league. Caitlin Clark is already establishing herself as one of those. You two had a moment in the playoffs, but I know you feel like that moment actually shows how well you guys can fit together.
Remember that epic playoff battle between them last year? Well, turns out that was just the beginning of something massive for the Indiana Fever. Bonner isn't just pumped to play alongside Clark. She's got a plan to turn her into an unstoppable force on the court. Can you even imagine Clark playing at an even higher level? It's almost too wild to think about. Let's break it down. Clark's rookie season was already off the charts. She was lighting up scoreboards and racking up assists like nobody's business. But here's where it gets really exciting. Bonner saw something special in Clark during that playoff matchup, something that most of us didn't even catch.
I think it's just two competitors going at it. It's the playoffs, so you're trying to get any way to win that game to get to the next round.
It wasn't just two great players going head to head. It was two fierce competitors pushing each other to new levels. Bonner even said, "I think it's just two competitors going at it." And now she's beyond excited to be on Clark's side instead of having to defend her.
Excitement to have you here.
I don't think I even need to hear it. You can just watch her game. I mean, everybody sees it. She's just a dynamic player, man. She's one of those ones that you come in and can make an instant impact, as you can see.
Bonner's not stopping there. She's ready to be Clark's guide through the WNBA jungle. She's talking about bringing her leadership and expertise to help Clark navigate the league with even more precision. It's like adding a turbo boost to a finely tuned engine. Clark is already incredible, but with Bonner's experience, she could transform into an unstoppable force.
Player, I'm happy to be on the side of her now instead of guarding her. Of course, she's a dynamic player, and you can see that in what she's done in her rookie year. And I'm actually excited to see what she's going to do her second year in the league with a little bit, more experience and understanding a little bit more.
Think about it. Bonner has been there, done that when it comes to playoff basketball. She knows exactly what it takes to win at the highest level. And now she's passing that wisdom on to Clark. It's going to make Clark's job on the court easier, and that's bad news for every other team in the league. Bonner is genuinely fired up about Clark's potential and can't wait to see what she does next season. This isn't just some teammate hype. It's a veteran seeing something truly special.
Like I said, hopefully I can make her job a little easier and she can make mine a little easier. But I think she's a great person, and we, been kind of connecting here. We had a great workout this morning and it was fun.
And get this, Bonner dropped another bombshell saying, "I just think she has another level that everybody should be excited to see." It's like Bonner has glimpsed the future of basketball, and Clark is the one leading the way.
I'm excited to step on the court with her. I play with a lot of great players, so to also continuing to do that, and I'm just so excited to see where her second year is going to go. I'm excited. Her first year was insane. You don't see too many rookies come in and do that, so I'm excited to see where.
But it's not just about Clark's individual success. Bonner is focused on the bigger picture, the future of the Indiana Fever. With Clark leading the way and Bonner there to guide her, this team is on the brink of becoming a force to be reckoned with.
Like a lot more odds. Like for real. I feel like I'm like in a little bit of a dream, but it's just super dope, super cool. I don't know if I ever seen myself on like this many billboards and pictures, so this is really good. Oh, now it's really real, huh? This is dope. Okay. I gotta get used to 2-5. This is my first time.
Something unexpected went down in Indiana, and it's shaking the WNBA to its core. No big press conferences, no spotlight, no orchestrated moments. just a quiet entrance that has the league scrambling to figure out what's next.
On the court, Bonner bangs him home. Bonner, the logo 3 at the shot clock mounting in this game.
Bonner makes her career best. Bonner hits the 3.
Bonner launches over. Zabely got the 3.
DeWanna Bonner, two-time WNBA champion, future Hall of Famer, and one of the most respected vets in the game, made her way into Indiana without a hint of drama. No waiting around. And where did she go first? Right to the gym. Her work ethic is impeccable. She is exactly the type of player that the Indiana Fever needed.
Similar to what DB said about the competitive fire you all had, the moment you had in the playoffs last year, all those things. How do you think your competitive fire can mesh with hers?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want. You want your teammates to be just as competitive as you are. So I think training camp's going to be really fun. That's when you're competing live. You know, you're getting after things. Coaches are figuring out what lineups work, what lineups don't. So I think it's more so like the drive of pushing your teammates to get better. And I think that's exactly what she speaks to when she talks about her leadership. Like, that's going to push all of us to get better when you can see a vet like that come in here and want to get better every single day still. And, you know, you're 12 plus whatever they are in their career. That's inspiring. That motivates you to want to be better too, but just exciting.
But waiting for her wasn't a coach, an agent, or a front office exec. It was no other than Caitlin Clark. Clearly the main reason DeWanna joined the team, so she was excited to see her.
Thank you very much. That's what 6'5" would do for you. Pick up, rebound, back Finlay.
Futility from 3 for the Sparks.
Over there, Finlay comes up with it. Here's Clark and Trent leaves it behind for.
There's just 1 of 5.
They go threes.
Yeah, they do. Nice.
The rookie sensation, the once-in-a-generation talent, the player every team in the league has been scrambling to figure out.
South Carolina players in this game, by the way.
Sure do.
Tiffany Mitchell, Alicia Gray.
South Carolina players in this game? Tiffany Mitchell, Alicia Gray, and the big question lingering? Why? Why would a battle-tested veteran skip the usual welcome parties to hit the gym with a rookie? This wasn't just a workout. This was a message to let everyone in the league know that they are coming prepared for the new upcoming season. And if you think this is just another off-season move, brace yourself for a rude awakening. The Indiana Fever has something big planned up their sleeve. The WNBA is on the verge of a major shift, and the Indiana Fever is right in the middle of it. This season is just getting started, and you won't want to miss a single moment.
What's up, Fever fans? DB here. So happy to be here, so excited. I'll see you guys in May.
No welcome parade, no PR stunt, no fluff. DeWanna Bonner didn't come to Indiana for the media circus. She came for one thing: business. A two-time WNBA champion, a future Hall of Famer, and one of the game's most respected veterans. But instead of basking in the spotlight or making a dramatic entrance, she went straight to the gym.
I'm just happy that I can still be a part of it. I'm happy that I'm still wanted, you know, in different organizations and have the free agency that I had. And I'm coming to probably one of the best fan bases in the world right now, so I'm pretty honored to.
No cameras, no distractions, just pure focus. That's not a casual arrival. That's a message. When a player of Bonner's caliber bypasses the theatrics and heads straight to work, it's clear she's got unfinished business. And here's where it gets even more interesting. Bonner isn't stepping into Indiana as the face of the franchise. She's not here to demand the ball, dominate games, or make a statement. She's taking on a role most superstars would avoid, a supporting piece to an already budding young core.
I'm coming to probably one of the best fan bases in the world right now.
That's almost unheard of in professional basketball, where ego usually collides with team chemistry. But for Bonner, this isn't about status, it's about strategy. She sees something special in this Indiana squad, and she knows exactly how to take it to the next level.
The way they came back the second game, it just makes you excited to, okay, I want to be a part of that. They didn't lay down and quit. They came back and actually try to beat us early, that next game. So it just shows a lot about their character and how hungry they are. And
her first move in a Fever uniform made one thing obvious. She's here to win, and she's not wasting a second. She's linking up with the player poised to redefine the league, Caitlin Clark. This isn't just mentorship, it's about building chemistry, trust, and ensuring Indiana isn't just competitive, but dominant.
Time and his third, currently 5 catchings for second.
Time and again, Bonner's message is simple. Clark doesn't need someone to shape her. She's already built for this moment. That's what makes this move so dangerous for the rest of the WNBA. Because if you thought Bonner was just here to mentor Clark, think again. She's here to partner up, to sharpen her, to elevate her. And if that playoff battle was any sign, these two aren't just going to coexist, they're going to dominate. Let's be real. DeWanna Bonner could have gone anywhere. Teams lined up, contenders made their pitches. She had the leverage to choose a championship-ready roster. But she chose Indiana, a team still finding its stride, a franchise that, just a couple years ago, was an afterthought in the playoff hunt. That's not just a decision, that's a statement. A player of her caliber doesn't make a move like this unless she sees something the rest of the world hasn't caught on to yet.
First person I can honestly say that looks like Steph Curry. Like, she's not guardable right now, and she can hit almost any shot from the outside.
Almost any. How much of a power she is out there on the court. The cool part is the way that she plays and her range and the level of difficulty on her shots is obviously a very close comparison.
From long-range shots to lasting influence, Caitlin Clark isn't just setting records, she's shattering them. Surpassing even Steph Curry's iconic three-point average, she's reshaping the future of basketball. But what happens when Caitlin Clark crosses paths with Steph Curry's legacy?
Do you think Caitlin Clark could beat Steph Curry in a three-point contest?
That's tough. Shooters can have an off night. You just never know. Caitlin has no conscience where she pulls from.
Steph has no conscience where he pulls from.
Been doing it for a long time, so can never go against Steph. Steph has been doing it for a long time.
Recently, Caitlin Clark has solidified her place in basketball history, and it's not just because of her scoring ability, it's where she scores from. New stats show that Caitlin Clark now holds the record for the longest average three-point range, an incredible 28 feet.
I think the WNBA narrative right now is Caitlin Clark, and I think that's a good narrative, but it's also not the only narrative. Caitlin is an amazing generational talent, and she's going to do amazing things. You're the #1 pick. People are going to go after.
This remarkable accomplishment not only surpasses the previous record held by NBA legend Steph Curry, but it also sets a new, higher standard for shooting excellence in basketball. By pushing the boundaries of what was once thought possible, Caitlin Clark has redefined the range at which players can score, inspiring future generations to aim even further.
Do I need to call you the female version of Steph Curry, or do I need to call Steph Curry the male version of Caitlin Clark?
I think I'll just be the female version of Steph.
At just 22 years old, Clark's achievement is far more than a statistical outlier. It's a reflection of her unmatched skill, court awareness, and unshakable confidence. As the all-time leading scorer in college basketball, regardless of gender, she has already left an indelible mark on the game. With her new record-breaking 28-foot average, Caitlin Clark has not just added a new statistic to her resume, she's fundamentally redefined what it means to be a sharpshooter in the modern era. To put her accomplishment into perspective, Steph Curry, widely considered the greatest shooter in basketball history, boasts a three-point range averaging around 27 feet. At the time, that seemed untouchable. Curry's range revolutionized the game, sparking an era of deep shooting and permanently changing the way basketball is played. But now, Caitlin Clark has pushed that boundary even further, raising the bar to new heights.
I love me some Steph Curry. Steph Curry is the greatest shooter in the history of basketball.
However, Clark has taken that revolution even further, stretching the boundaries of possibility with an additional foot of range that makes her a constant threat the moment she crosses half court. This is no accident. Clark's shooting range is the result of years of dedicated training, an innate basketball IQ, and an unwavering competitive spirit. Her shooting form is a perfect balance of precision and power, enabling her to effortlessly launch shots from well beyond the arc. But what truly sets her apart is her fearlessness. Clark isn't afraid to take shots from distances most players wouldn't even think about. Whether it's a contested three in the final seconds of a game or a casual pull-up from 30 feet on the fast break, she makes what seems impossible look completely effortless.
Shout out to Caitlin Clark. She's a certified bucket. To quote Shaq, I was not familiar with her game. I respect her game. She's a fucking baller. She was pulling up like Steph Curry from deep. But I just got one question. Matt, do you think you can beat Caitlin Clark in one-on-one?
Absolutely not. Nobody here can.
I'm busting her ass. You wild. Shit. You wild, bro.
This record also speaks volumes about the evolution of women's basketball. Clark's success stands as a powerful testament to how the game has progressed, with athletes consistently pushing the limits of what's possible on the court. Her remarkable shooting range has drawn comparisons to Curry, but it has also established her as a trailblazer in her own right, showing that women's basketball is just as dynamic, innovative, and game-changing as the men's game.
I think Steph Curry made the WNBA watchable.
Caitlin Clark, baby.
The way that Caitlin Clark was playing was a very digestible form of basketball. But now this girl out of nowhere is playing like Steph, and it was still digestible.
Meanwhile, Clark has reached this milestone in an era where defenders are more focused than ever on limiting long-range threats. Opponents specifically game plan to neutralize her, yet she continues to excel, constantly finding ways to create space and sink one clutch shot after another from deep. Her 28-foot average isn't just a number, it's a declaration of dominance. As Caitlin Clark keeps breaking records and exceeding expectations, the basketball world is left to wonder just how much further she can push the boundaries of shooting.
Is there anybody in the NBA under the age of 30 that's a bigger name, bigger jaw, bigger star than Caitlin Clark?
For now, one thing is clear. Clark has not only surpassed Steph Curry's legendary mark, but has firmly established herself as one of the most transformative figures in basketball. Her 28-foot average three-point range is more than just a record, it's the foundation of a legacy in the making. Caitlin Clark isn't just redefining the game of basketball, she's reshaping its entire business model. The sharpshooting sensation, already celebrated for her historic three-point average that outpaces even Curry, is demonstrating that her influence extends far beyond the court.
I mean, honestly, $1,000 for a family of four to go to a WNBA game. That seems wild. It really does. The Clark effect.
Clark now represents an incredible 1/4 of all WNBA merchandise and ticket sales. This remarkable achievement highlights her power to attract fans, drive revenue, and become a true game changer for women's sports. Moreover, in a league that has long battled for visibility and equality, Clark has sparked an unprecedented wave of fan engagement. From jerseys bearing her name to arenas packed with fans chanting in her honor, Clark is more than just a player, she's become a movement.
Caitlin Clark, her style of play it's not just her individually as a person or what skin color she is. I think it's, more so about her style of play, her playing.
According to reports, her merchandise sales alone make up nearly 25% of the WNBA's total revenue in this category, an extraordinary figure that speaks to her unmatched popularity. Whether it's fans buying her iconic number 22 jersey or scooping up exclusive Caitlin Clark-themed collectibles, her appeal is undeniable. The same goes for ticket sales. Clark's games are an event, consistently attracting record-breaking crowds.